So Battlefield 2042 isn't everyone's cup of tea. Oh, really? So inevitably our minds begin to wander, and so I got curious. If Battlefield 2042 is so meh, would Battlefield 3 still be a good alternative in the year 2023? So now before I continue, I want to ask you guys that you hit the subscribe button if you're into Battlefield like I am. Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you find this video to be informative, and then I want you to comment below and let me know your thoughts on Battlefield 3, and let me know if I forgot to mention anything in this video. Now let's get on with the review. So Battlefield 3 is a first-person shooter, of course, that came out in the year 2011, developed by DICE and published by our friends at Electronic Arts. Now, back in the day, this was actually my first real experience with a Battlefield title. In the past, I had really only ever played the campaigns, so Battlefield 3 was where I actually got into the multiplayer component, for better or for worse, on Sony's PlayStation 3 and now on the PC in present day. Gameplay for Battlefield 3 was and is what you would expect. Squad-based first-person shooter where everyone has a role to play, whether it's as assault with their assault rifles and healing capabilities, as the support class with their big-ass LMGs and infinite ammo supplies. You got the engineers, they specialize in supporting and destroying vehicles, and of course, the ever-brave and totally not BS recon class with their sniper rifles and their spotting abilities. Battlefield 3 took the formula from Bad Company 2, refined it, and added a gritty, mature coat of paint to it, and also a weird blue filter on top of everything. Battlefield 3 shipped with many of the classic game modes you know and love, including an actual single-player campaign, Battlefield 2042, and a co-op mode. And of course, you had the ever-present multiplayer mode with some classic modes such as Conquest, Rush, Squad Rush, and Team Deathmatch. And they even added more game modes later on via DLC. Now, the campaign in Battlefield 3 is nothing to write home about, honestly. You've got some nuclear bombs that are stolen, the City of Lights, Paris, gets extinguished, everyone starts pointing fingers at each other, and of course, you're the only person capable of cutting through all the red tape and the BS, and then solving the grand old mystery of who stole the nukes. Overall, the campaign took me about 9 hours to finish on the normal difficulty, and it's just pretty meh overall. You know, it's fun, it's your typical Battlefield campaign. There's a whole lot of stuff going on, but you're never really sure why or why you should care. The multiplayer mode, of course, is where this game shined in 2011, and thankfully it still does so in 2023. All of your favorite modes are still here, however, it can be a little difficult and sometimes nearly impossible to find servers with some of the more niche game modes. You, of course, can expect to consistently get into games of Conquest or Conquest Large, and even Team Deathmatch and Rush. But if you're someone who is into tank superiority or scavenger, you're out of luck. Regardless, Battlefield 3's multiplayer is god tier. You've got some of the best maps in the franchise, such as Caspian Border, Grand Bazaar, Epicenter, Asadi Palace, and even Operation Metro. Who could forget Operation Metro? The gameplay is always intense and satisfying. Guns are well balanced and fun to use. There is still a sense of strategy behind the games online where communication, teamwork, and skill are actually rewarded. And of course, destructibility is at a level of quality where you've come to expect from the franchise. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't also mention Battlefield 3's excellent co-op mode. Now, if you've played Call of Duty's Spec Ops missions from the older Modern Warfare games, you will feel right at home here. These are missions that you can play with friends online. There is no split screen. And you attain scores based on your performance on the mission. Then your scores are uploaded to a leaderboard. It's actually a really fun mode that I wish they would have in today's game. So ultimately, you clicked on this video because you want to know the answer to the question of, is Battlefield 3 worth playing in the year 2023? The answer is there is no doubt in my mind. The campaign could be just a quick jaunt through a cheesy summer blockbuster type story. You have an excellent and very fun co-op mode. And the multiplayer mode, despite having a leaner player count these days, is still as good as Battlefield multiplayer has ever been. Battlefield 3 is an example of the very best of the Battlefield experience, and I strongly recommend you try it. Little tidbit about Battlefield 3, this was the game where they started to dabble with the online passes. Back in the times around the year 2011, a lot of these companies were experimenting with game passes where you would have to, in addition to paying for your Xbox Live, you would have to buy a game pass. So Battlefield 3 was not immune to this. If you were someone who wanted to play Battlefield 3 online, you would have to buy the game, and if you bought the game brand new, you would get a voucher for the online pass. If you didn't, you would have to pay for it as an added expense just for the pleasure of playing the game online. Thankfully, companies learned their lessons and stopped doing this crap, but this was right at the middle of it. I actually worked for Blockbuster at the time, and so as a rental company, this was a huge problem for them. They were renting out copies of Battlefield 3, and nobody could play it online because they were not giving people the codes for the online passes. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end the video today. I want to thank you guys so much for all the support. The channel is growing, and it's because of you. So please, keep doing what you're doing. Leave thumbs up on all the videos. Make sure you comment. Let me know your favorite moments about Battlefield 3. Let me know if I missed anything in my review. And that's it. I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.